Ben Carson, who is, of course, considering a presidential run, sat down for an interview with one of the kookiest websites in the country, WorldNetDaily. And what did they discuss? Benghazi.
When we throw away those values that rapidly propelled us to the pinnacle of the world, you're going to see a concomitant deterioration. Mm-hmm. When we do things like have our Attorney General and our President say, yeah, marijuana is not that bad, I used it and look how I turned out. Well, that's the problem. and we have clear scientific evidence that, the use of cannabis in the developing brain is detrimental. Mm-hmm. And the brain is developing until your late 20s. Well, who are the people who are using it? Teens and early and mid-20s. Mm-hmm. There's going to be consequences for that. And why are they not talking about that? Why are we more concerned about how much sugar there is in the beverage that you're drinking? Not that that isn't important, but we need to look at the things that are truly having a deleterious effect on our society and stop the subterfuge. And we do so many things to distract people. I mean, the trademark issue with the Redskins. I mean, give me a break. Mm-hmm. When we've got IRS going on, right, and Benghazi going on, and NSA going on, and Fast and Furious going on, and a dozen other things going on, and we're talking about a trademark. If you go out on the street and you start talking to people, mm-hmm, and you say to them, who sings the happy song? Most of them will know. Mm-hmm. And you say, what can you tell me about Benghazi? They won't know. Right. Benghazi, isn't that a singer? Benghazi. and these people vote. That's the sad thing.
So let me get this straight, Ben Carson. The Redskins, weed, and the Pharrell song Happy are all distractions from Benghazi. Yeah. I mean, the reason why this is now a gigantic joke to people on the left is because the people on the right have made it that. No matter what the conversation is, it always goes back to Benghazi, Benghazi. And by the way, he's right. If you talk to people on the street, they won't know what's going on with Benghazi. And those people that you'd be talking to are Republicans. Go ahead, talk to them. Talk to somebody who's angry about the issue of Benghazi, and they won't be able to tell you why they're angry about the issue of Benghazi. They don't even know. It's just random, visceral, amorphous anger that bubbles up in them, and they're like, Benghazi, Benghazi. Okay, but why? What exactly are you mad at? Well, there was something bad that happened at Benghazi. It was bad. But what happened and why is it President Obama's fault? Well, people died and it was bad. Blame Obama and Hillary Clinton. Blame them. Yeah, but so what exactly is your beef with them? Why the anger? What policy did they implement in that specific area where you say, I disagree and I would have done X? And then what'll they say? They won't be able to answer. They won't be able to answer because they don't know why they're angry. Their thought leaders on Fox News and Republican politicians told them to be angry, so they're angry. They can't describe why. And again, it's a long-running joke. And to go even deeper on it, I mean, there were 13 Benghazis under George W. Bush. This is the one fact that they can't respond to. They don't know how to respond to it, because if they were objectively angry about the issue of attacks on embassies and consulates overseas, well, then you would have been angry 13 times under Bush's administration, but you weren't. Why? Because it was your president. I mean, what's the insinuation? What? Oh, you think Obama carried out the attacks? What, was he calling the people who were committing the attack and saying, all right, guys, do it now? And we also caught the guy. Let's keep that in mind. Okay? And again, under Bush, there were a total of 66 deaths during attacks on consulates and embassies, 21 of them were U.S. workers and 3 of them were U.S. citizens. And there was deafening silence. They didn't politicize it. Why? Again, because their guy was in office. When it's President Obama, they act like he fucking carried out the attacks himself and he was carrying an RPG. And then final thing I'll throw out there about this man, I mean, when he's attacking weed in the developing brain, yeah, that's a distraction from Benghazi, talking about the freedom to put a substance in your body as long as you're not hurting anybody else. No, that's a serious political issue. Okay, and so weed in the developing brain, yes, there was one study, which, by the way, was funded by the same government agencies that make money from the war on drugs. So, gee, I wonder if there's a conflict of interest there. But okay, there's one study saying weed in the developing brain is bad. Great, so ban it for kids. In fact, that was the position to begin with. Nobody wanted to legalize marijuana for kids. We just wanted to legalize it for adults, just like we have for alcohol. For adults, they could drink it. And also, I'm sure if you down a quart of gin every week when you're a kid, the same thing happens. You have brain damage. Does that mean you ban it for everybody? No, of course not, because that would fly in the face of freedom. And think about the fact that in Ben Carson's mind, he just made clear to you that, well, people are focused on the happy song and weed when they should care about the serious issues like Benghazi, Fast and Furious, and the IRS. For fuck's sake, all of those are fake scandals. The real distraction that's going on is from the Republicans and from Ben Carson. Because what they want to do is hijack your attention and say, focus on the IRS and focus on Benghazi and focus on these other silly non-scandals, Fast and Furious. Why? Because they know that they don't have an argument on the economy, the social safety net, income inequality, and foreign policy. So they're the ones that are really distracting. They don't want you to see the massive amounts of obstruction that they're doing, the record number of filibusters, the 50 attempts to repeal Obamacare, because they know that the average voter, that might make their base excited, but the average voter's not going to like that. They're going to go, whoa, what are you doing? Why aren't you trying to work with the Democrats? Why aren't you trying to get shit done for the good of the country? So they're the ones that are distracting, not the Democrats and not Obama.